Yeah.
All right, John Scanlon, welcome to the Professional Hypnotherapist podcast. And we had a bit of gremlins there earlier, but hopefully we're back and fine now. And you were just talking about the upcoming Irish Hypnotherapy Conference in a hotel near in Dublin Airport.
Yeah.
So tell us about that, John. What's happening in 2024?
Okay. So in the conference, it's April 20th and 21st, and it's at the Clayton Hotel, Dublin Airport. And it is over 2 days with 20 speakers. It will actually start on the Friday night because Dr. Kate Bevan-Marks will be who will be presenting at the conference, but is also doing a thing that she does in London and Las Vegas called Hypno Games, which is actually really great fun, honestly. I think last year in Vegas, I was with people who were complete and utter beginners and Shawn Michael Andrews all into one group, just having fun. And it's a great way to connect because the conference is actually really about three things, Aidan. And I'll go through the list of people, but just it
Excellent.
really is about three things.
Wonderful.
It's about learning. So it's about bringing kind of the best in the world over as much as many as we can get, bringing them to Ireland and letting people see them up close and personal, learn from them. It's also the case that they are accessible over the weekend, not just when they're presenting. So whether it's sitting down having a cup of coffee with them or joining groups with them or whatever, all of that happened last year in Arklow, happens in London, happens in Vegas, and will happen again in Dublin. And most of them are, in fact, all of them are really friendly people, and they just want to spend time. We spent last weekend with Freddie Jackman in Dublin, and Freddie just gives of himself, and they're all the same. They're all the
Yes.
same. They have knowledge and they want to share it. So it's about learning first and foremost. It's also about community, though. It's about building and strengthening a community, and the APH does that. But there's not too many organizations outside of the APH for hypnotherapists that do that. So, like since Arklow last year, I think we've had 3 in-person events, and for long periods, almost a weekly in-person event on Zoom. We've kind of moved to monthly because time constraints have kind of pulled us back a little bit. But the idea is to continue to share learning connections. And that was very visible when people were in Dublin last weekend with Freddie, because they'd only met in Arklow 10 months ago. But you could see the depth of friendships that was already there. That also not only creates that sense of community, but it also creates inspired action that people will take, whether it's collaborations they come up with together or new things that they'll come out with. And there's a visible sense of enthusiasm is probably the best way to describe it, And ultimately, both of those steps, I am aiming, and what this conference is ultimately about behind it all, is to get hypnotherapy as a more mainstream therapy. That's the ultimate objective behind all of this. Because we have research to show that it is the most effective therapy in loads of cases. But if you ask the general public, you'll find that that's not the case in their minds.
Yeah. So it's very, to use an expression, John, it's very holistic in terms of the approach. I think it's wonderful that you're bringing these, well, for the want of a better word, these hypnotherapy stars, who indeed are very ordinary people, as you said, yet you're bringing them to the small island of Ireland, and that's not only that, but you mentioned community, that, hypnotherapists, generally speaking, we're sort of sole practitioners.
Right.
We're on our own. And it's always good to build that sense of community, that sense of camaraderie, rather than repeat your words. But you know what I'm getting
Yeah,
at. It's
absolutely.
that sense of community. So keep going then. Tell us
Yeah.
more.
So, basically in Dublin at that weekend, we will have 20 hypnotherapists from around the world, basically. And we will also, so we'll have 2 rooms going, which we only had 1 last year. So there'll be a choice for people, which is normal at hypnotherapy conferences or hypnosis conferences. And our conventions, depending on where you are in the world, they call them different things, but it's the exact same thing. In and many new speakers, so they're first-time presenters. They're three Irish people who will be presenting for the very first time at a conference, which is on their protocols, their different techniques, and their ways of using it. So we will have Sarah Jane O'Neill, who uses the Tim Box method of hypnosis without trance, and she'll be demonstrating that on the Saturday morning. Laura MacDonald on Laura does the she's based in Mayo and she does the BWRT. She trains at BWRT. She's doing a blueprint for weight loss and lifelong success. And Fiacre Morrison is going to do, and I actually love this because when I asked Gary Coles the question, what does hypnosis means to me, means to him, I should say, sorry, he just said imagining things differently. So Fiacre's presentation is on the power of imagination, how we see the past, present, and future, and I'm looking forward to that. It'll be a choice because at the same time, you're going to have Sheila Granger on, who will be doing 15 secrets that super successful hypnotherapists use. So we're covering the business side. Stephen McGill will also be doing marketing. Grant Morrell on Saturday morning is doing the blueprints for successful hypnotherapy business. Jason O'Callaghan is doing, because he is a trained psychologist, so he is also doing 10 ways to make money as a hypnotist. So you're covering all of the business side of it, but you're also covering then all the therapeutic side of it.
Yeah.
So
you mentioned Gary Coles there. Is Gary Coles coming?
Yes. I haven't got
wow.
yet. Yeah, so if I like on the therapeutic side, you have Karina McAvoy, our Karina, is doing positive programming mindset in our kids using NLP. Rob DeGroof is doing the art of simple hypnosis.
Right.
Kate Bevan Marks is doing rapid therapy techniques. Kate is very well known for her EMDR training and all of that kind of stuff. She's really, really well known at that. And then Freddie Jackman is rapid change phenomena. So changing lives in minutes, or changing minds in minutes, is the way Freddie says. Gary Coles and Sue Peacock are both on Sunday morning. So Sue is doing as I turn my page here.
It's the first time we're actually
that wrong way.
That's good old Freddie.
That's Freddie there in the background. Sue Peacock is reversing the negative spiral using hypnosis to manage depression. And Gary Coles is doing the hypnotic intervention for the cancer journey, so hypno-oncology. Stephen Travers, how to communicate with your amygdala using hypnosis and havening to overcome addictions. One I'm really looking forward to, because I actually love metaphor, but Adam Cox is doing Nested Loops Made Easy on Sunday morning. Adam has the Hypnotist podcast, which is about 7 million downloads or something at this stage.
Is he from the States, is he?
He's from London. He's from the UK.
London. Oh, okay.
He's a clinical hypnotherapist based in Harley Street. And he has that podcast, and it basically incorporates metaphor. So it's basically sessions using metaphor. And I just love the approach. That's just really nice. Sean Michael Andrews, instant and rapid inductions, and Stephen McGill then on the future of therapy promotion. In the afternoon, then you have Kaz Riley. I think this is the first time Kaz has presented in Ireland, if my memory serves me right. So she's talking about, let's talk about sex, why understanding and discussing sexual health can lead to breakthroughs. And then Carl Smith working with military and emergency services, so behind the body armor. So it's a lot of that will be about working with the families of fire, Gardaí, ambulance, that kind of stuff.
Like trauma or something.
It's trauma. Yeah, that's Carl's forte. It's the thing that's closest to his heart. So that basically is, it's 2 rooms in the morning and 1 room in the afternoon. So everybody kind of stays together, as it gets those conversations, those connections, rather than just corridors.
What's a very comprehensive lineup, John. Congratulations. I mean, this is this definitely is,
And
groundbreaking
actually,
stuff.
in addition to that, there is
Yeah.
actually one more thing in
Or,
addition to that. And he was meant to be in Dublin, but unfortunately, something that was meant to be happening in May happened in April, so he can't be
right.
here. But he
Ah,
is doing a master class 2 weeks before for everyone coming to the conference. Anthony Jacquin will be doing a
oh,
2 hour
yes.
master class on Zoom for us.
Lovely.
And Anthony's doing that on self-hypnosis and the power of self-hypnosis for change.
Excellent. Wonderful.
So
Um, very exciting lineup. And what is your, your goals for all of this, and indeed for the future? What's your vision for this and for the future of the
um,
Irish Hypnotherapy Conference?
very simply, Aidan, to be the largest one in Europe.
Lovely. That's simple. Absolutely. I think
And
it's
it's
I
it's not illogical
no.
because we're on the doorstep from the UK. It's a very short
Yeah.
flight.
Yeah.
When I was in Vegas last year, I flew through Chicago and I had a 4 hour flight from Chicago to Vegas. And it made me realize as I was flying that that's a very short flight for Americans.
Mm,
You would be anywhere in Europe in 4 hours.
mm,
Hence the
mm.
reason it's next to the airport. And of course, Americans love Ireland. So if
Yes.
we can tie it all in,
Yeah,
then
yeah,
why
yeah.
not?
I had to get a
Um,
few leprechauns.
absolutely. Yeah. Um, so that is basically the idea behind it. And the idea then ultimately using the conference is as a platform for hypnotherapy to
Yeah,
be more, and for hypnosis to be understood. Because,
right,
I
right.
mean, you know, the 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 answer of what is hypnosis is using our imagination differently, changing our minds about things. So in essence, we're all in hypnosis at various points about what we already
Yeah,
believe.
yeah,
Um,
yeah,
and hypnosis itself is a state. It's a state
mm,
of being. Um, and we can use it for entertainment or we can use it for therapy, but it's the same hypnosis. And it's about understanding that and taking the fear out of it all at the same time.
mhm. Absolutely, taking the fear out of it. And I think fear is something that, holds us all back and can get in the way. So, John, what would you say to um, a probably a hypnotherapist out there who is, working maybe not maybe on the outskirts of the country, a bit far away. What would you say to them? Why should they come to the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference? What are they going to get out of it?
What they're going to get out of it is world-class speakers giving them information in person that will effectively help their practice no end. They may take a whole presentation or they may take a nugget out of a presentation that will make a difference in their practice. They will be part of a community that expands and builds, and they'll make new friends. And they'll probably meet some old friends as well, but they'll definitely make new friends because it is the most embracing community that I've been part of. And it's a real joy to actually see people just coming together um, and supporting each other, which is the big thing, because what you end up getting is a very active support network where people
Yeah,
are there,
yeah,
where people work. But And it really does depend on the therapist themselves and what it is that they're looking for. I mean, I've said, Aidan, and if you're a massage therapist, for instance, you know, you could listen to Adam Cox, get your nested loops, get your metaphors, and you could actually, while you're massaging somebody, give somebody a metaphor that can, in essence, change their lives
yeah,
or help them to
yeah,
overcome something or help them to heal
yeah,
quicker. Um, it doesn't matter. Anyone who has an interest in working with people's minds in any shape or
yeah.
form, they will benefit from this without absolutely no question. Um, and for me, I look forward to welcoming everybody here because um, this will be, I think, one of the biggest events in hypnotherapy in Ireland that has probably ever taken place, but I can't be 100% sure on that. And it's going to get bigger, and I just would like people to be part of it from the beginning, because they will learn. I have learned, and to be honest, I was fascinated, and I'm going slightly off point, but I'll come back on point if that's all right.
Yeah,
Over
perfect. Yeah, go ahead.
Christmas, I watched it was something on YouTube, but it was American TV, and it was Undercover Billionaire. And I don't know if anyone's ever seen it, but basically what they did was they took 3 billionaires, and I've only seen one so far, by the way, so I still have to watch the other two. But they took 3 billionaires and they landed them in 3 different cities that they'd never been before. They couldn't use their own name. They had $100. They had an old beat up pickup truck and a phone that had no contacts on it, right? And their job was to make $1 million in 90 days. Now, I'm not looking to make $1 million in 90 days. The real lesson behind it was they did that using their connections and their contacts that they made. So it was the people that they met and establishing the relationships that allowed them then to use their skills.
Yeah.
And in essence, not only will you learn, but you'll meet people and you will establish contacts with people that will help you both as a person and in your business. Because ultimately it is a business too, and that's the other side of it. We focus a lot on the therapies and on the techniques, and they're all vitally important. But it's also a business because we have to pay the bills.
I think it's wonderfully exciting. In fact, I will be going this year, and I think it's really, really exciting to be going to this conference to meet the best of the best in many regards, and to learn and indeed to network, because networking is so important. And I'm really looking forward to it, John. And hopefully, if you allow me, I'd like to maybe interview a few people there for,
Absolutely,
you
Aidan.
know,
That was absolutely, like I said to you, this is about connections, and it's about establishing rapport and friendships with people
yeah,
that benefit the whole profession. So anything that does that, I'm completely in favor of.
yeah.
I mean, I've been very lucky in the last 12 months to have traveled, a lot of places around the world. And I will be even more this year. I'm making a presentation on the James Braid Society in London next week.
Yes.
So it's
Wonderful.
it is about putting Ireland on the map.
Yeah, yeah,
That's what it's about.
yeah, yeah. Great, great.
Because I, when you think of Gary Coles, who works in hospitals where they do acknowledge hypnosis in forms in the UK, where in Europe they use hypnosis in hospitals in France and in Belgium and in certain places. And here it's I won't say fringe, but it's not as mainstream as the
Yeah,
others. And it's
yeah,
about creating that level of acceptance that allows, and if it means that Ireland gets a bigger profile within that community, then the community will only benefit.
absolutely. I think it's wonderful. And I would definitely urge anyone out there, as you say, anyone who's working with people in it doesn't necessarily have to be a therapeutic environment.
Doesn't.
It can be in somebody working in sales, to learn a language and to learn the language of influence and to meet the experts there. And indeed, I'm sure, because of the generosity of the people in the profession, that they will be forthcoming in terms of
Absolutely.
helping, you know.
And that's a given. That's an absolute and utter
Yeah,
given.
yeah,
They are the most friendly and open people. And having met them also in London and Vegas, I know and that was before I'd ever even thought about producing a conference. So I wasn't anybody worth, I was just
right.
an ordinary everybody. But it was, yeah, so they really are fantastic. And I suppose the other message that I'm actually trying to get out, and I suppose it's part of that, is that people teach us how to, care for ourselves, eat properly, do all the things that we do, clean our garden, do whatever else we need to do. Very few people teach us how to manage our mind.
Yeah, That's true.
Hypnotherapists can teach us how
Yeah,
to manage our mind.
yeah, yeah.
And
Well, yeah.
going to a conference will help anyone who has an interest in the mind help manage their mind and
Yeah,
then help others.
yeah. I always remember the expression, we were born with the most powerful computer in our heads, and yet we were never given a manual for it. And that's something so the Irish, tell us when again, give us the details of the conference and when it's
Yes.
happening. And more importantly, anyone out there who wants to come along, how can they do that?
Right. So it's April 20th and 21st, which is Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
And it will begin on the Friday night for anyone who's there at 7:30, but it starts at 9 o'clock. So I think registration is about 8:15 on Saturday morning. There is a dinner on the Saturday night for anyone who wants to attend, and then it will continue through to about 4:30, 5 o'clock on the Sunday. And
Oh,
it will be both Kaz Riley and Carl Smith on the Sunday afternoon.
yeah,
And two fascinating talks, which I'm really looking forward to. For anyone who wants to go, I mean, they can contact me, or the website is www.irishhypnotherapyconference.ie. All the details are on there, all the links to both the hotel and the tickets for the event.
excuse my coughing.
That's
Uh,
absolutely fine.
excuse me. I should have normally I silence myself. So it's just give us the website again, John, please.
www.irishhypnotherapyconference.ie, and it has
Yeah,
all of the speakers, it has the schedule, it has the links to the hotel and the links to the tickets. They're all there. But if anyone has
yeah,
any problems, it's just John at irishhypnotherapyconference.ie will get me.
excellent. That's wonderful. So I urge anyone out there to get in contact and to go along to this, because this will be probably one of the most exciting events in terms of human change, if you want to call it that, on the island of Ireland in April of this year, 2024. John Scanlon, thank you so much for your generosity
Absolutely.
in coming on to talk to me here today. And I look forward to the next time we have you on. And indeed, I'm looking forward to the Irish Hypnotherapy Conference in April. So thank you so much, John,
Great to be here.
and
Thank you.
take care and bye bye for now.
Thank you.